Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing amazing. It is Boxing Day. Yesterday was Christmas, so a happy belated Christmas to everyone and an upcoming Happy New Year. Speaking of New Year, this video is going to be all about how to make 2024 your best year yet, because I just really believe deep down that next year is going to be the best year. Probably because I've had a really, not a bad 2023, but things did not go the way that I thought they were going to go, which is fine. It all worked out in the end, I think probably for the better anyway. But now we're going to get 2024, we're going to start 2024 off right, and we're just going to get things going and get in that good 2024 energy ready from the get-go. First of all, before we dive in, I just want to give you a quick update on what's going on in my life and some upcoming things that you can be expecting on my YouTube channel. The last week that's just been, I didn't get to do a YouTube video, which is the first time I haven't done one in my week of being on YouTube. Like, I normally release a video each week, and last week was the first one that I missed, and I wasn't planning on missing. In fact, this video that I'm filming now was meant to be one that I did last week, but I had an endo flare up. So I wanted to touch on that because obviously that's a big part of my channel. And I haven't had such a bad endo flare up in some time, so it was a bit disappointing, and I just want to quickly touch on why that's probably happened for all my endo girlies out there. So what we think has happened, so basically I had my bowel operation in Feb of 2023, so earlier this year. If you want to hear a bit more about my whole endo story, there is part 1 and part 2 on my channel. Part 2 relates to what's happened this year with that surgery. So following that surgery, I had the Mirena inserted and I was put onto this nasal spray which induces menopause. Anyway, I was on this nasal spray for 6 months. You're only allowed to be on it for a short period of time, so I came off that in October. And when I came off that, we were basically hoping that A, the last surgery should have cleared out most of my endo, and B, because I have such an aggressive form of endo, the induction into menopause, that medication should have at least given the Mirena a quick head start for it to be able to do its job and hopefully ensure that no endo comes back super quickly. Sadly, I don't think that's happened. I'm laughing because like internally I'm like dying inside, but it's fine. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's happened. I had really like, even like maybe last month, and maybe I mentioned it in one of my last videos, but I did have some pain last month. You kind of again go through that phase of like, am I imagining this? Like, is this really what I'm feeling right now? And I remember last month I was like, surely not. I think it wasn't bad enough that it really raised alarm bells. Like, I was just like, oh, endo flare up, whatever. But then this month, like, it was bad. So luckily I rushed back to see my surgeon. He happened to have a cancellation, which was just like amazing because, as I'm sure a lot of you know, getting in to see a specialist is often a long wait period, but I did get in to see him pretty quickly. And yeah, we went for an ultrasound and he was literally like, oh my God, surely not, because you need to have a cycle for endo to be able to grow. When I was on the menopause medication, I didn't have any cycle. Like, everything shut down there because my body was basically in menopause. So I've only started having a cycle of sorts again since October. Basically in the space of 2 months, my surgeon was like, surely not. Like, that is crazy. Like, surely you haven't had endo grow back in that short of a time. Not when we did a mass clear out, not when you've been on this medication. Like, surely not. Did an ultrasound. Ultrasounds are not the most conclusive things, but they suspect I don't know what they're called, but the ultrasound technicians basically suspect that there was endometriosis in the pouch of Douglas again, which is where it was first picked up on my ultrasound scan. So I was just like, again, that pain feeling that I got this month around, I knew deep down, I was like, this feels remarkably like the pain that I had pre-February surgery. I'm not going to keep carrying on. The plan going forward is I'm going to be taking Visane for the foreseeable few months. We're going to touch base again in February. Like, me and my surgeon are going to touch base again. I said to him, I was like, Jason, my surgeon is Dr. Jason Ting. I said, Jason, I have a marathon I have to run in April. I've got to train for that marathon. You need to get me through that without having to cut me open again. Like, I can't go through another surgery again. Obviously, like, most doctors don't really want to put you under the knife unless you physically have to be. So he was literally like, I don't want you to have to go to hospital again, particularly as my surgery again was not that long ago. So he was like, I really don't want to have to operate on you again unnecessarily. So let's try the Visane. Fingers crossed it'll do something for you. The Mirena and the Visane surely will just keep things under control temporarily. I was like, if we have to operate again, please let it be down the track once I run the marathon. Oh, sorry, I'm really hot. That is where we are at now. Long story short, the reason I didn't get a YouTube video up last week is because I was dying with endo pain. Love that for me. Anyway, what I wanted to discuss about the plan going forward. So my YouTubes would always typically go out on a Thursday, and I do a weekly video trying to make things I guess, relatable content that I enjoy creating, but also content that I hope people can find educational and inspirational, and obviously being surrounded by like fitness, wellness and lifestyle content. That's sort of my bread and butter here. But going forward, as of January, what my content is going to be about, at least for the first couple months, is all about my London Marathon training. As of 1 January, it's like honestly so crazy, my training block starts for the London Marathon. So each week you can expect a weekly vlog about how that training is going, so everyone can come along on the journey with me and we can do it together. If anyone else is doing the London Marathon or any marathons next year, I hope that these weekly vlogs will make you feel like you've got a friend in the process, will hopefully inspire people, and I think it'll be awesome just to see how my training progresses, all the ups and downs. And as I'm sure people who've watched my videos before, people who know about running and sport, you know that it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Like there's a lot of ups and downs, particularly in my running journey. I've always found that progress is not linear. So I'm very excited to start filming and to start training for that. Like it's literally only a few days away. That is gonna be the go going forward. Running is your jam. I hope you guys will make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and follow along as we train for the London Marathon together. Enough of that, let's dive into how to make 2024 your best year ever. Alright guys, I've had to open the door behind me, so I'm sorry if there's some traffic noise. I'm literally bloody sweating my tits off. If you're new here, this is a little fun fact for you. I sweat a lot. That's definitely something you can expect to see, particularly as I train, but also as I just sit still. Let's dive in. So the first thing you're gonna do to make your 2024 your best year yet is you are gonna reflect on 2023. You can go as in-depth with this as you would like to. I have got Georgie Stevenson's Rise and Conquer, Do It For Your Future Self course. And this is something that I have enjoyed doing. I did it this year in terms of at least reflecting and getting clarity about what I want in the new year. So I'm gonna just look at this and touch on some of the things that, I guess, some of my goals for 2023, how my life went and what my priorities were and what I guess happened and what didn't happen. So in this course book, I basically did an audit of 2022, and for now I'm going to do obviously an audit of 2023, and basically what the highs, the lows and the milestones were that I achieved in the previous year. If I'm just thinking about 2023 overall, I'm obviously not going to go into too much detail, but for me, some of my lows were in February, my operation, because I just didn't have a good experience in the hospital. It was really draining. It mentally took a toll on me. Another low, I think, was some of what happened with my job and just not feeling that sense of value and fulfillment and safety and security that I guess I wanted and really needed in a job. But then on the flip side, there was so many highs. In September of 2023, one thing that I can reflect on was me running the half marathon, and that was a huge milestone. That was a huge high for the month, for the year. It's really good, I think, to reflect on your previous year, so I guess you can kind of see obviously what didn't work and what did work, and then you can kind of figure out what you want to take into the new year. What are those areas of growth? What are those areas you want to improve? Are there different things you want to prioritize in the new year that you didn't necessarily prioritize in the year that's just passed? For me as well, I like looking for the lessons from the year. I guess the things that I learned and what 2023 taught me. Just speaking very broadly, 2023 taught me that my health, no matter what, is a priority. And I know that's really cliche and really obvious, but I think it really takes going through something to kind of really get that. And for me, that really hit home this year. Another thing for me is no job is worth being unhappy. That was a huge lesson for me in 2023, because I felt so much pressure and so much societal pressure and pressure on myself, whatever it was, to just stay in this job and in this career. And eventually I did overcome that. I think I definitely learned that just no job is worth it, because you shouldn't be going to work feeling crappy every day. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. If you are interested in hearing a little bit more about the career and corporate stuff, I really recommend you listen to my podcast, which I'm going to plug in here, called Just Can't Hack It. It is available on Apple and Spotify, and we have some amazing episodes which touch on this, and particularly a really great episode all about bullying in the workplace and this idea of you need to be resilient in the workplace. If you are someone who's struggling in your workplace and that's something you want to avoid in the next year and something you want to change in the new year, I would highly recommend you listen to that episode. It's called Stop Telling Me to Swallow Your Resilience Pill, Hacking Workplace Bullying with Stephanie Costi. Now that you have done your reflections for 2023, you are ready to do the second thing that's going to prep you for the best year yet, and that is set your goals for 2024. As I mentioned before, I did it for the Do It For Your Future Self course by Georgie Stevenson, which I loved. And the reason I loved it because it taught me that your life can be split into like elements, or what they call buckets, of things that are important to you, so your priorities. I like to set my goals out based on my bucket, so I know exactly what parts of my life I want to prioritize and what my goals for each priority is. if that makes sense. So I know a lot of other people recommend doing what they call it like the wheel of life. And whilst I think that's a really good starting point, because basically how it works is there's like a wheel, you draw a circle and you cut it into slices and you break it down into very stock standard career, family, friends, body, mind, soul. That's a great starting point. But what I don't like about it is it's not very individual and not very specific. People have different priorities. People might have priorities that aren't even in that generic thing. So for me, one thing that I really prioritize is travel and spending time with my pets. That's not something that's typically on that wheel of life. So this is why I quite like this system of setting buckets for yourself. So you're identifying what is your most important priorities in your life and then setting goals underneath them. I've got my journal here. You can use any notepad, you can type it up, whatever it's gonna be. And I'm going to write down my priorities for 2024. And now that I've reflected on 2023, there are actually some things that I'm gonna change from last year. Let's do that first. Alright guys, I've written down my buckets to start with, and then I'm going to go in depth with my goals, but I just wanted to quickly show you what my buckets are. So my buckets for 2024 is relationship, fitness, family, travel, content creation, friends, business, self-care, and development time / me time. So I've got 8 buckets. They are my priorities, they're my pride and joy. They're basically where I want to put my energy in 2024 and where I'm going to set my goals. So now let's do my goal setting for 2024.
Every change has a reason, baby, let it come to you. Every soul, every season lives outside of status quo. If we stop believing we're meant to be, expanding our abilities. If the passion's gone, we are doing it wrong. Baby, you and I should start living now. With the whole world at our feet, we could stay or we could leave.
Alright guys, I have written down my goals for 2024. I'm not going to share all of them because they are very individual to me. Some things that I will share with you are, for example, spending quality time with my partner every week, running the London Marathon, which obviously is no surprise to anyone, stuff around travel, stuff around content creation. So obviously with the London Marathon in April as well, there's going to be a lot of content around that, but also I've written down that I want to have the best adventure during that time. So when we go away for April for the marathon, not only are we doing the marathon, after the marathon we're doing like a nice little relaxing bit in London, and then we're going to Scotland because I've never been to Scotland, and spending some time in Edinburgh and doing the Scottish Highlands, like hiking part of the Scottish Highlands, which I'm just really excited about. Like I think it's going to be amazing. So I just really want to enjoy that adventure and just like I just want to lap it up. I just want to have the best time. With my friendship bucket, I've just said like I want to have laughs together. Like I love spending time with my friends and my family. So I just really want to have time with them. Although in saying that, in my family bucket, one thing I will share is that I've written quality time with Harvey and Hugo, my cats, because you have to. I do have a little business bucket. So there is some new things launching in 2024, which I might share in the new year. Which is very scary, very exciting as well. And then in my self-development and me time bucket, I've written always find happiness in every day, because one thing I think is really important, which I did reflect on with 2023, is that if you can't find one thing in your day, like at least one thing that's bringing you happiness, like what are you doing with this? You've got to change something, because that's crazy that there's not one moment in any day that you didn't have a happy moment. So that's some of my goals. I really hope you guys do something similar, break down your life into your priorities, into your buckets, and then goal set underneath that. And what I would say as well, when you are goal setting, first of all, try and make your goals achievable. Don't set yourself up for failure. It's great to think big, it's great to manifest, but I think you also want to make sure that it's something that you can do. So say you have a financial goal for the year, don't set a financial goal of $1 million unless you know there's something you can actually do to achieve it. Like unless you're running a business that you're going to put in the hard yards and it's going to full cost for $1 million, make sure that it's a great goal, but it's also an achievable goal. We are going to do vision boards. That's going to be my next tip. So that is where the big thinking and manifestation stuff comes in. But for your goals, you may have heard the acronym SMART goals. Like they should be things that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and can be like there's a time frame for them to be done. So I think with your goals, you do want to set yourself up to succeed. So don't go too crazy. Like let's make them things that you can do, and they can be big goals and you can put in the work. But again, just don't set yourself up for failure. But in saying that, I have put some really big goals in here and I might be a little bit ambitious, but you never know. Once you have got your goals written down, the third thing you are going to do is create a vision board. That's right, we're vision board girlies for 2024. So what I'm going to do, I've got my laptop here and I'm going to do what I think I've seen a few people do, and that is log on to Pinterest, grab some images, and then I'm going to put it in a document, and that's going to be my laptop background for 2024. So I'm going to do that now. Alright guys, vision board for 2024 complete. So this gives you a little bit of an insight towards my goals and my vibe and my energy for 2024. I'm very excited. Just to wrap up really quickly, I want to just kind of say my vibe of what I'm taking into 2024, and I guess kind of give one other tip that I would set like an energy and a vibe for 2024. And I just want to quickly say, I don't know if I mentioned it before, it's okay if your vibe or your goals change throughout the year. Like goals are okay to change. That's completely fine. Priorities shift, and that's very normal. So I think it's really important as well as throughout your year, make sure you are reflecting on your goals and reassessing as need be. But I just want to quickly say my energy for 2024 is peace and happiness. So I think my goal for last year was all about leaning into uncertainty, and I knew very much it was going to be a growth year. I just think I didn't realize in what way, and I think this year will still be a growth year, but I guess in a completely different way. I think I'll be very focused on my business and my business growth in this new field that I'm in versus what I was doing last year. Very much just focusing on peace and happiness, because last year I think I really got bogged down in the unhappiness that was going on, at least for the first half of the year, but that is not the vibe anymore. 2024 is all about peace and happiness, and which is why I have protect your peace on my 2024 vision board. Guys, that wraps up this video. That wraps up how we're gonna make 2024 our best year yet. So I hope you found it useful. I hope you guys sit down and reflect on your year that has been, set your goals for the new year, and create a vision board for 2024, and it's gonna bring you your best year yet. As always guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will be off until next year. I'm actually heading to Thailand tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. So I actually have to go pack. Going forward, you'll be seeing weekly vlogs all about documenting my training progress for the London Marathon. Stay tuned till then. Have a great rest of your holiday period. Remember, we do all the things together here, and I'll catch you in the next video.